If you're just finding this case for the first time, let me catch you up fast, because a lot has happened in the last 3 weeks, and today alone brought a development that changes things. July 4th, Independence Day. 18-year-old Nolan Wells travels out to Horn Island, off the Mississippi coast, with a group of friends. It's a barrier island, remote, no real facilities, about 10 miles offshore, the kind of place people go for the day and leave before dark. Nolan doesn't leave with them. 2 days later, on July 6th, his body is recovered in the water near the island. And in the 3 weeks since then, this case has only gotten more complicated, not less. Welcome to the Black Docket. If you're new here, hit subscribe and let us know in the comments where you're watching from. So today, we're going to walk through what's confirmed, what's disputed, and what just changed in the last few hours, because there's a lot to get through. Let's start with what we already knew. GPS data from the boat Nolan's friends were on shows them arriving at Horn Island at 11:14 in the morning. The boat then sits stationary for 5 hours, until 4:30 in the afternoon. When it finally leaves, it doesn't leave at normal speed. It creeps, at just over 4 knots, for nearly 3 miles, before suddenly jumping to over 30 knots. That gap, the slow crawl before the sudden speed, has never been fully explained. Witnesses told investigators Nolan had been drinking heavily on the island that day. That's part of the official record, from a Mississippi Department of Marine Resources document used in the search for him. His friend's account has stayed consistent from the beginning. They say they urged Nolan, more than once, to get back on the boat with them. That he refused. That he chose to stay behind on the island with a woman none of them knew well. And that the reason they ultimately left without him wasn't because they abandoned him. It's because their boat was taking on water, and they had no choice but to head back. That's the story as it's been told for weeks. Now here's what's new. As of today, July 28th, there's video. Newly surfaced footage shows the boat Nolan's friends were on, being towed back toward shore. 7 people are visible in that footage. Nolan isn't one of them. That's significant, because up until now, most of what supported the idea that Nolan was left behind on the island came from witness accounts and second-hand reporting. Now there's footage, actual visual confirmation that when that boat headed home, he wasn't on it. And there's a detail buried in this that's easy to miss. The boat wasn't actually towed by the service the friends originally called for help. A separate boat, one that happened to be anchored near Horn Island, ended up towing them instead. At some point after that, the group apparently got their own engine working again and made it the rest of the way back to the mainland under their own power. Small detail, but it matters, because it means there were more people, more boats, and more potential witnesses around that afternoon than we initially understood. Now, the part of this update that's harder to sit with. Investigators, and now the public, have gotten hold of an enhanced recording from the emergency call the friends placed that day, when they were requesting a tow for their boat. And in that audio, some people believe they can make out a voice asking a question. Is he dead? I have to be exact with you here, because this is exactly the kind of moment where a story can get away from the facts. It has not been confirmed that those words were actually said. The audio has been enhanced and amplified, which can distort as much as it clarifies. And the people who were on that boat have denied it. So here's where this sits, honestly. A disputed interpretation of a low-quality recording. Not a confirmed statement. Not evidence of anything on its own. We're telling you it exists, and we're telling you it's contested, and we're leaving it right there. Next, the account that doesn't match. Nolan's friends have said, from the start, that he chose to stay behind on the island with a woman they didn't know. That's been their story since day one. But now, that woman's sister has come forward publicly, and her version doesn't line up. According to her, she understood that Nolan was planning to leave on the boat with the group. That, as far as she knew, his friends weren't intending to leave him behind at all. So now we have 2 different accounts of the same afternoon, coming from 2 different directions, and they contradict each other on a pretty basic question. Did Nolan choose to stay, or did his friends leave without a plan for what would happen to him? On top of that, someone has come forward claiming they saw Nolan on the island as late as 6 in the evening. That's an hour and a half after his friends say they left, at 4:30. If that sighting holds up, it means Nolan was alive and on that island, well after the version of events his friends have given. And there's one more thread developing, separate from all of this. A dispute has opened up between the family's legal team and another group that was involved in the search, over something that sounds small on paper, but matters a lot in a case like this. what Nolan was wearing when his body was found. The family's side and this other group are giving conflicting accounts, and it hasn't been resolved. Let's step back for a second, because I think it's worth remembering where the science currently stands, since it connects to everything we just walked through. 2 autopsies have been done. The official one, from the state medical examiner's office, results still pending, and an independent one, commissioned by Nolan's family and their attorney, Ben Crump, conducted by forensic pathologist Dr. Roger Mitchell. That report found something worth noting: a 12 by 8-inch area of red discoloration in the soft tissue at the back of Nolan's head. Mitchell was upfront that the cause of that discoloration is unclear. It could be from decomposition. It could be from some kind of trauma. He also noted that key structures in Nolan's throat weren't available to him during that second exam, likely retained by the original medical examiner's office, which means he couldn't rule out an injury to the neck as a contributing factor. Not confirm it. Rule it out. There's a difference, and it matters. Both autopsies, as of right now, list the cause and manner of death the same way: undetermined, pending further investigation. So here's where all of this leaves us, tonight. A boat with 7 people on it, and no Nolan. A disputed piece of audio that may or may not include a chilling question. 2 accounts of the same afternoon that don't agree with each other. A possible sighting hours after his friends say they were already gone. An unresolved dispute over what he was even wearing when he was found. And underneath all of it, a discoloration on the back of his head that no pathologist has been able to explain yet. We are not going to tell you we know what happened to Nolan Wells. Nobody does yet. Not the sheriff's office, not the family's own pathologist, not us. What we can tell you is that every piece of new evidence coming out is adding weight to the idea that something about the story we were first told doesn't fully hold up. This case is moving fast, and it's not slowing down. If you want to be here for the next update the moment it drops, make sure you're subscribed. And let us know in the comments, what do you think actually happened on that island? We'll be back the moment there's more to tell you.